Nobody asked, but here's the history of squirt soda. So it's World War I, and the US government needs a shitload of cotton. And I mean a shitload. They need it for uniforms, they need it for supplies, and they need it for bombs. So Arizona farmers catch wind of that, and naturally they plant as much cotton as humanly possible. Fast forward to 1918, and the war ends, and basically the demand for cotton collapses overnight, leaving all those farmers sitting on mountains and mountains of cotton. So they pivot, and what do they pivot to? Grapefruit. That's right, grapefruit. But why grapefruit? Well, the climate was perfect for it, the land was already irrigated, and grapefruit was kind of having a moment. It was basically the kale of the 1930s. Doctors were recommending it, so naturally Hollywood took that and turned it into a grapefruit diet. And to top it off, the South and Southwest were dealing with a little bit of a malaria problem. And some people believe that grapefruit actually had anti-malarial benefits, so farmers are looking at all this like, grapefruit? Great idea! Let's plant it. Let's actually plant a lot of it. Let's plant all this grapefruit. But there was one problem. Everyone had the exact same idea at the exact same time. Does that sound familiar? By the late 1930s, there are now mountains of grapefruits. Same movie, different fruit. And yes, technically, botanically, cotton is fruit, which is weird to think about. Anyway, back to the original subject. Except this time, instead of pivoting and starting all over again with a whole new crop, two guys named Ed Marin and Herb Bishop look at all these unwanted grapefruits and say, I bet we can make soda out of that. And they did. It was basically an overnight success. It didn't taste like any of the other sodas on the market, and it had a lot less sugar. And they market the soda as a soda that quenches your thirst with no afterthirst. And back then, soda was loaded with sugar, and sugar does not quench your thirst. In fact, it actually does the opposite. You'd finish a Coke and somehow be thirstier than when you started. And in the scorching heat of the South and Southwest, having a cold, tart, refreshing, actually thirst-quenching soda that didn't leave you thirstier after was a really big deal.
They're a really big deal.
By 1941, they've got a mascot, and his name is Lil Squirt. Yes, awesome rapper name. If it's not taken yet, someone snatch that up. And Lil Squirt was created by a cartoonist named Bruce Bushman. But Bruce wasn't just any cartoonist. He was a legit Disney artist. He helped design Disneyland, and he helped contribute to some of Disney's biggest hits, like Pinocchio and Fantasia. By the 1950s, bartenders loved using Squirt as a cocktail mixer, which sounds hilarious when you say it out loud. And by the 1960s, they got Squirt drink names like Squidski
So you mean whiskey?
What?
You're saying it weird.
and Squadka and Squirt Rum. Yes, Squirt Rum. By the 60s and 70s, it's all over Mexico and Latin America, which is probably why it's the go-to mixer for palomas. Then come the 80s, and the diet soda wars are in full swing. Coke and Pepsi are going head to head, and they're spending millions of dollars marketing their diet sodas. And quietly in the background, Diet Squirt launches and becomes the first soda in the United States to use aspartame. And despite being a niche grapefruit soda, Diet Squirt sales grew 861% in 2 years. And after the success of